Everybody, welcome. Um, Based upon the email that I sent you, the first thing I want to talk about is the flight information. We do have our flights, we do have our hotels. I will be getting you a copy of this itinerary, but I just wanted to share, we will be leaving from Atlanta at 4:30 on the first. That's when our flight leaves,
Afternoon?
in the afternoon. Which means we have to be to the airport at 1:30. Which means we'll be leaving church at 12:30. Which means you need to be here by 12 o'clock on August 1st. With all your luggage and ready to go. There's no turning back. And what's the most important thing you need?
Passport.
Passport. I don't care if you bring a suitcase. Please bring a passport. We'll get everything we need over there, but we can't buy a passport on the way to the airport.
It's in my little backpack already.
Good. Passport is paramount.
So we're riding together?
We're all together on the same flight
No, the
In a
same.
van.
In a van.
in a van.
Okay.
We will be riding in a van. If we need a trailer, I've got a trailer reserved to put our suitcases in. And as of right now, Mark Gossett is gonna be driving us to the airport, dropping us off, and then he will be probably picking us up on the way back. Real blessing with the tickets and the airline and the whole arrangements. Kim was able to find, I guess the church now works with a travel agency that deals with humanitarian flights. So, number one, we are all on the same plane. I think we'll probably all be sitting together because they booked them all at once. The good news is we all get 3 suitcases, a carry-on, and a personal item. Each one of us, because it's a humanitarian aid. We're going as humanitarian aid to Poland.
Wait, so a carry-on, a personal item, and a check bag?
3 checked bags.
So a lot of times
Each.
these
I know,
trips
it's hard to believe.
take medical
3
supplies.
3 checked
So that-
bags each.
And a personal item and a carry-on?
Yes.
Correct.
Wow.
So that's 150 pounds of things you can take. Women, you should have no problem getting all your jewelry and all your makeup, okay?
You don't need any of
No
those.
problem.
We don't have
In Poland, you don't need any of it.
Yeah,
They don't do makeup. They don't do,
Well-
well, not a lot. Not like the States does. You don't need it. I'm not taking any. So,
I'm taking my, Tammy, will I take my makeup?
oh yeah.
you have 3 bags now to do that. But
I'm
the good
taking my
thing,
makeup too.
excuse me, the good thing is that means we'll have plenty of room for our crafts. We're gonna talk about crafts tonight. We're gonna break down the list of what we need. And in the next month, we're gonna assemble all that. So when we meet together on the last Sunday of July, which is 4 days before we fly, if we don't have it already in your suitcase, packed, ready to leave here, we'll be taking care of that.
Okay, can I say something real quick?
Huh?
Okay, so that's 3 checked 50-pound bags.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, I guess she's already checked to make sure, are we flying the same airlines there and back?
Yes,
And,
out of a different city.
yeah, but is it the same?
We are going Atlanta to Paris, to Charles de Gaulle Airport,
Oh.
to Krakow.
To Warsaw.
I'm
Or-
sorry, to Warsaw, yeah, to Warsaw.
Atlanta to,
We get into Warsaw at
12-ish.
11:55 is what's scheduled now on the 2nd.
their evening or their morning.
Noon.
They're
Noon.
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 Oh,
They're
they're noon.
noon.
Okay.
So what's nice about it is we leave here at 4:30 p.m. It's already 10:30 p.m. in Poland. So we'll get on the plane, we'll get a meal, and they'll shut the lights out. So it really works out good with really no jet lag unless you're gonna stay up all night. If you're in my row, you're not gonna do that. But we get there at like 11:55. We'll have, depending upon the schedule and the arriving of the other church, we'll have a couple hours in Warsaw. We'll change whatever money you want, $100 into. The exchange rate has changed. It used to be 2 years ago, it was over 4. to the dollar. Right now, it's 2.7 to the dollar.
Is it really?
Yes.
Wow.
So we're getting half of what we're used to getting. It's still $2.70 for a dollar that we spend. So it's good. Our flight out leaves on August 10th. We leave out of Krakow. Our flight leaves at noon, which means we'll have to be there at 9 o'clock, which means we'll have to leave the hotel at 8 o'clock. And I'm not sure this hotel we got, it's a brand new one that just opened this summer. It's called the Tribes. So you can look it up if you want, the Tribes Old Town Krakow. I think one of the reasons I got this, I think, is because they had shuttles. They provide shuttles for us
Pretty sure that's.
to get to the airport. That was one of the primary things I wanted to do. If not, it's a 10-minute walk to the train station, a 17-minute ride on the train, drop you off right at the airport. We will get back to Atlanta that night at 8:25 p.m. The van will be there. We'll get back in the van. We'll come back to church. So figure if everything goes good, 9:30 we'll be back here at church.
Now, is there a particular place you want us to be parking our cars, cause they're gonna be here?
We will be parking them down at the church office.
At
On the
church office?
side of the church office is where you park your car.
Okay,
That's where we're gonna meet, is at the church office building, the old church. We meet there, we leave from there, that's where the vans are, that's where the trailers are, and all that, so we'll be leaving
Just
from
gonna
there.
Get somebody to
Drop you off.
drop me off.
Or drop you off,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't wanna leave my car.
either one,
off.
yeah, if you don't wanna leave it here, that's fine, one way or the other. Tammy and I live so close, we're just gonna walk over with our
Okay.
suitcase.
We're not gonna,
Oh,
let that.
no, you're
We're not gonna let that.
Just kidding.
You know, Howard, even though we can take 3 suitcases, 50 pounds, I know none of us are gonna do that.
Yeah.
But we do have to take them up the stairs at the hotel. And we have to, we've gotta fit them all on the van
At the
that they,
lodge.
yeah, at the lodge.
Yes,
And we also have to, fit them all in the van that they bring
Brian's
from
we
Pro
will
Am.
let them know
How much
how
we
many
have.
we have,
So they-
and they'll accommodate accordingly.
Yeah, they might have to send 2 vans.
Sometimes,
It's possible.
depending, because
But
there's 2 different
What
churches.
what we've done in the past is if we take a lot of supplies for the camp or for any other reason, we just leave that extra suitcase that we no longer need to
Right.
bring back. We leave, so if you don't have a beat around one, we've picked them up at thrift stores before and filled them up with things and then just leave them so we don't have to worry. If we go over with 3, doesn't necessarily mean we're coming back with 3.
Right. If you have a good one, that would be for your personal things.
What airline are we flying?
We-
Lufthansa?
We are flying
Air France.
Air France, which is associated with Delta, there and back.
Yep.
So, as we get into tonight, we're gonna talk about the crafts and the workshops and all the things we need. We will determine how many suitcases about we're gonna need. Our recommendation, like Tammy said, is every time we go over to Poland, we know there's at least 1 suitcase not coming back. So go to the Goodwill, get one that it's their last flight, and just leave it there.
One of the things you have to bring is towels and washcloths and stuff. That's on your packing list. Almost every time we've been, we've left our towels there
Right.
because they're reused with other people or refugees or something.
Right, when I went to Poland 2
Um,
years ago,
We took a whole suitcase full of towels.
Yep. I left all my clothes.
Oh yeah,
I just,
that too.
I just gave all my clothes and came home with my carry-on, because they needed them, that was the time when the war was
Right
going
after
on and
war.
stuff.
Yeah, they had towels last time we were there. They told us to bring towels, but they had them in a room.
Right, and they
Yeah.
usually have a lot, but we could
Because
use them
people
for
like us
crafts,
use them.
or, when they go, there's a river right by the camp and the kids come, they don't have towels.
Yeah.
And stuff, so anything like that that is worthy of being left. Okay, I'm not bringing my t-shirt with the hole in it and stuff like that.
So they'll do the laundry with their.
No laundry.
No,
I mean,
laundry
like,
while you're
if we're,
there.
if we're leaving clothes
Yes,
and houses.
they have
they'll
laundry
wash
there
them
for
the
camp,
before they-
but not for the
yeah,
workers,
okay.
yeah. And then it'll all be washed before it's used again. They have a clothes closet,
Mhm.
they have a food closet, at least they did 2 years ago. I don't know what it is now with
It
the
was at
refugee
the
situation
hotel.
that's being,
It may not be
It
there
may
anymore,
not be
but
as
we'll be
full.
in contact with Pro-Am to see what what they would like for us to bring and leave.
Right.
And if it's nothing, that's fine. You don't have to take 3 suitcases just because you can.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
good things, and I'm gonna communicate with the church too, but us especially, if there's things we wanna give, once we get the list from Pro-Am of what they could use as a camp, that they can't get in Europe, that we can bring from the States, then we'll just talk to life groups, talk to friends. Would you donate for a suitcase? We're taking these supplies, these items that they need over. So that's one of the main pushes after we take care of all our craft and workshop items of what we need to do. Talk to your life group, talk to your friends, talk to people you don't even like, and, see if they'd be willing to donate these things. And we'll get you that list, hopefully within this next week. I'll email that, of what are some of the items that Pro-Am could use that they don't have, that it's easy to get access here in the States, or it's much cheaper. And we'll just take those over, and that would be our love gift.
I
Choose more
was
to get
given
from the-
$50
Mhm.
from the Women on
Yeah,
Mission.
downtime.
Okay.
Tammy, you still need
To-
jeans?
I
For
don't know
whatever
yet,
need.
Okay,
because I have a
That I
bunch
saw
from
fit.
Joyce, and I just haven't had time
So,
to go
I don't know.
through
that probably won't,
what's there.
I've got
that's
about
not really authorized to do that.
4 pair.
The
Yeah.
church will
I'll
give
let you
us
know.
funds,
I'll let you know.
that would probably go with it.
I started bringing
Because-
tonight and I left them sitting there.
Well,
Yeah.
they made it out to me,
Okay,
so I can spend $50 however I see fit.
okay, but the only thing we ask in that vein is you don't buy something for a camper that you can't buy for all the campers.
I
That's a
understand
Pro-Am
that.
rule. Yeah, and I knew you understood that. But you can't just, that's my favorite, and I'm gonna buy them a sweatshirt and nobody else. Pro-Am doesn't allow that.
Well, I was
Yeah.
thinking about
Okay.
just donating it to the camp.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's the strongest way to do, is donate it to the camp on behalf of you, and they will put it to the best use.
That's where my thought was.
Yeah. You're spot on, very good. All right,
I have one question before we move on. We can, I believe, email you the itinerary that will have your ticket number on it, but it's all one big document. You're just gonna have to find your own name.
if I have time, I'll
and
be
find
able
your
to
ticket number.
divide them into individual itinerary sheets.
Well, if you want to do
Cut
that,
and
that's
paste,
fine.
cut and paste, cut
I'll
and
have
paste. I'm
time.
good at cut and
I'll
paste.
have time for that.
Does this airline assign seats?
That, I don't know, and that's why you
Yes.
want your ticket number, so
Yeah.
you can
They are,
check
it's part of
your,
Delta. It
Yeah.
definitely is.
Yeah, I
Check
think
your
it is with the humanitarian, it may be, cause I saw so many as we were looking for flights. You get a certain flight, but at the price you're getting it, you're the last one to get a seat. I don't know how it works with this
but if
travel
they have their
agency.
ticket number,
Yep.
you can look it up and see if you're assigned a seat, and you don't like your seat, if you wanna pay for an upgrade somewhere,
You're free to
an
pay for
aisle
your own
seat or
upgrade.
something, you can do that.
Well, but an upgrade is something like
I
last
mean,
time.
like, to an aisle seat or.
Yeah,
window seat.
see, that's it, last time I had my knee surgery, I think it'd been 6 months, but I still had to get up and walk around.
Right.
And I don't sleep like Tammy does on the plane, Tammy
No.
just
We're good at it.
crashes.
We need to sit together.
We
Yeah.
good at it.
because
So
I've been there.
if I can, yeah, so we can,
Once we find our tickets,
okay,
and we'll just let the stewardess know, cause they have to account for everybody in that seat in case the plane goes down, they
Right,
gotta find out who's there.
Yeah.
We'll just tell them, this seat person is changing with this seat person. I've seen it done before, and they don't have a problem with it, they just need to change the roster.
yeah.
Do you know how long we'll be, in Paris? Do we?
about a
do we
2.5
have to get off
hour
the plane
layover
in
both
2
ways.
we have to
hours?
get off the plane and go to another plane. It's
Yeah.
about a 2.5 hour layover.
Oh, good.
No problem, there's enough time both ways,
Okay.
Yeah.
coming back from Charles de Gaulle and going to Charles de Gaulle, there's enough time for that, even for
I hate Paris.
Yeah.
everybody, yeah. The good news is,
Yeah, we're not getting off and going in.
no, you're not leaving the
No
airport.
time for the Eiffel
Yeah.
Tower, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
We
need to
did
put
see
a
the
lead
Eiffel
shot, you
Tower
do.
when we
From
No,
were-
I do not
yeah.
like
When you flew
Paris.
out?
Trust me.
Yeah, I don't like
Well, we
Paris
flew
either.
in
It's-
there,
it's
and
dirty,
then
they're
went to
rude.
Italy.
They hate Americans.
They hate
Okay, we
America.
don't need to go on.
Okay. Anyhow, we're
Continue.
getting off there.
They do.
Yes,
The good thing about the airline tickets, because it's a humanitarian flight, it was so much cheaper.
Mhm.
Our Krakow visit is all paid for.
The hotel room was
The hotel and
covered
everything is
with
paid for.
Oh, wow.
Good,
All you have to do is you're spending money.
spending money.
good.
Yeah, so, and any extra money, cause it was like, what, $200 a ticket less, Tammy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Than
it
what
was,
we had
it was a
budgeted.
good deal. It was
Oh,
a good price.
wow.
Yeah, it was about 200 less than we
And
had budgeted.
understand,
That's
any
cool.
funds that you had given of the 2,200, everything now is covered. The policy of the church is nothing else can be returned to you, but it's donated to the camp.
Yeah.
They will send a check with us to the camp to be able to use for their ministry. So, it's exciting that we've done that. Okay, I wanted to first, I know this is printed, if you'd each take one. I just wanted to go over it. You guys all know that on the website, the,
Packing list, what?
what's the
Yeah,
name of the
what
website?
Service Street?
Service Reef website. This list is there,
Mhm.
the packing list is there,
And the volunteer expectations.
and the volunteer expectations is there. I just
Couple
wanted to
other
know
things.
that was there, but I wanted to take a minute today to go over this before we go into the crafts and the workshops. So we have some idea of what we're gonna be doing when we're there.
Long days.
Mhm.
They are
They
long
are
days. You will sleep well.
You will sleep
when you go
well
to
on the
sleep.
way back.
Yes, but Saturday, we arrive to Poland, get some time, eat, exchange money. We get to Pro-Am, it's called Camp Zako.
Mhm.
Zakostela is the name of the city that the camp is actually in, Pro-Am is the ministry. And you get a free jar of strawberry, it was given this tonight. But if anybody, except for you, can spell Zakostela before we leave today without looking on your phone,
Oh, no.
Ah, you're so funny.
I'm confident you won't be able to. But anyhow, and then Sunday we get there, we'll have church service in the morning, they'll ship us down to
Ship us.
Tomashu, which is where their church is that they associate with. We'll have church, we'll eat lunch at the camp, and then at 3:00 is a get to know you game, and then we'll do the planning for the rest of the week. And then Monday through Friday, here's the schedule. You're up at 7:30 for devotions. I
You're
don't
up
know
at
if that's
before
7,
7:30
yeah,
to
and I
get
don't know if
to
that means
devotion.
7:25, you're up to get the devotions by 7:30, or 6:25, you're up to get the devotions by 7:30. I
Yeah,
don't
if
know,
you want to, get it 5 minutes early, you can get coffee.
yes,
I'll be there.
you know that for sure. 8:00 is when the campers are woken up, and we have our breakfast. 8:30 is the campers' breakfast, 9:15 is the group worship meeting for all the campers and everybody. We are all involved in that, that's all part of ours, as far as I know. Do we break
sit,
out?
No, we sit together in the worship center as a group. We do not participate unless they are asking us to do something specific.
Unless you're playing a piano or something.
And
So,
we sit
we'll
at,
see.
last time we sat at the, kind of at the
Kind of at
back.
the back.
At the back
And
away
we
from
have,
it.
we have headphones
Yeah,
and an
translation.
interpreter,
Yes,
Mhm.
so that they can, you know, you can
Awesome.
understand what's
Yep.
going on.
yeah,
I
someone,
started to get those earbuds.
you won't need them.
No,
Yeah.
they have them there
They
and
have
you
somebody
can,
that
Yeah.
actually interprets
Okay.
into like
and
a
sometimes
microphone.
it's
and
kind
doesn't
of,
hear.
kind of funny,
It is.
their interpretation, because,
Yeah, because they're
They-
interpreting, there's a Polish person interpreting Polish to English, and they don't know English that well because they're Polish.
Well,
So
Yeah.
what
some of them
they
do and some of them
interpret
don't.
always isn't, but you're gonna get the gist.
You
of
get
it.
the gist.
but there
of
was,
it.
the one we had, the girl that was there, she was from the United States.
Yeah,
Some of
Yeah,
them
she
are.
was.
Yeah.
she got stuck on some Polish
Yeah,
words.
she did,
Yeah.
she did.
Okay, and then 10:00, it's quiet time with their groups, that's campers.
We do not do anything generally in that time period.
We would then, during that time, probably be setting up for our workshops.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a good time to have a devotion too.
For,
Oh,
for
yeah.
ourselves,
Yeah.
yeah, for our own
Yes.
group, and I'm not sure if we'll be with Southeast for that devotion time.
No, I mean individually. You mean individually?
Yes,
Yes.
Oh,
everybody,
I
Other
was-
people
everybody
individually
just
have
kind of
their-
went back to their rooms
Oh,
and
I was
had that
hoping
time.
that your personal devotions would be before 7:30. That's my personal preference, is you start out your day with your personal devotions before you ever see anybody. But that's just my preference, you do whatever you
Okay.
want, there will be other time, you'll figure it out through the week. So our workshops start at 11 and they go to 1. We have 3 workshops that we're gonna be doing. And we're gonna take time now I didn't tell you before, but ready to prepare what you're gonna be doing at your workshop, what you're gonna be doing in your workshop, what we're gonna be doing in our workshop. We got 3 workshops that'll go for that hour and a half. It gives 2 hours, but that's arrival time, departure time, all that type of stuff.
Each day, the 5 days?
Every day is a workshop. It's the same thing each day. It's a building block activity.
All the kids choose which workshop they want to go to. And they go to the same workshop every day. So you might have 12 kids going to
Photography.
A workshop,
photography,
yeah.
a photography workshop, and 20 kids going to a robotics workshop. Right, but it's going to be the same 12, the same 20.
So if you're
Every
helping
day,
with that
all week.
workshop or leading that workshop, you will see the same kids all week long. And so Becca, would you tell us about your journal workshop that you're planning on having? To include as best as you can without you knowing about this beforehand, what items you're gonna need. Because we're gonna work together. And then after all 3 of them are shared, I want you guys to think about which one would I like to help with. You don't have to help with all the workshops because there's group activities and games that you can break off and be part of that. If you like sports, there's basketball. If you like horse riding or the farm, if you want to be part of that, that's fine. But with you and you guys and Tammy and I, we need to know about how many other people we'll probably need with us to help with that event. And then we'll have to decide who's gonna be doing that, and that'll be all week long.
Is your sister still doing fishing?
No, that's not gonna,
Happen.
no, not the workshop with fishing.
Okay,
It's
so
too
we're
much.
doing 3. How many is Southeast doing?
I don't
Let's
know,
go over ours first.
all I
and
know
then
is we're
talk
doing
about
3,
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
and so we presented that to Pro-Am, and so we're gonna do these. So Becca, tell us about your journal workshop, what it involved and what you're gonna need, how many people would be best to help.
Yeah. So I meant to bring one with me, but I left it on my counter before I was leaving the door. But
So like I did with the prayers.
But yeah, so if y'all can see, they're just little journals that you make out of like a orange like mailer envelope. So they're pretty simple to make. You can make them last a while to make. Just depends on how many aspects you want to add to it. But the key things that you would need for it are the envelopes. Roughly like 5 sheets of paper.
What size envelope? I mean,
You can do either the like bigger orange envelopes or even the smaller ones. I've made them with both
Like
sizes.
manila envelopes is what you're
Yes.
saying. Okay,
Yeah.
shipping
Not
not a
envelopes.
regular,
5 by 7
No,
and 8
hard
and a half by
envelope.
11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
one of the like the bigger mailer ones.
The size, the picture you just showed us, what size is the finished front aspect of the,
It's just
like a
it's
5 by
the-
8 or a 5 by
probably-
7, 4 by 6
probably 4x6. 4x6 or
ish?
you're right in
Okay.
there. Because basically what you do with the envelope is you can either cover it with scrapbook paper or with fabric, and then you sew in the pieces of paper into that. So the envelope becomes the outside of the journal, so it's just going to be folded in half. If that makes sense.
Okay, what do you mean by sew in? With needle and thread?
With needle and thread, or if we want to do it another way, we can glue in the.
Yeah, we have to check about the needle issue.
I'm not sure needles are,
I don't think, from what you guys remember before, there
there
wasn't.
was nothing that used sharp objects other than scissors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Okay.
think about
Was there?
Glue.
'Cause
Gluing.
we could
We
use
will have
like
to double
staples if that would be it. Like if we could do staplers.
Stapler would be much better.
Yeah.
We could either
Do you have a
use that-
long neck stapler?
Probably, I can get one.
well, we'll work
But,
on that, but
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking
But we
either
can
that
check
or
about
like
that.
the plastic crochet needles, either if that would be better than like a regular metal needle.
That would be better,
I think
yeah.
that would be better anyways, because
Yeah.
you use more crochet thread for
mhm.
journals
Oh,
anyways.
okay.
So
Yeah,
we
it's
just
just
not
a
wanting
matter of
the
a
kids.
safety issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I was thinking more the crochet needles, the little plastic ones.
I have tons of crochet, embroidery
Mm-hmm.
thread. Is that what you're talking about?
It can be that just
The floss?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I have tons.
But yeah, then for the insides, just like stickers, glitter, ribbon, doilies. They're called junk journals because you can put whatever you want to in them. So
You need to come to my car before you leave.
You keep everything in your car?
She lives out of her car. Okay, let's finish this, we'll talk about that later.
But yeah, so main things we would need, the envelopes, paper,
Did we decide on a size envelope you
We'll,
want?
we'll get
We'll
that
get that.
afterwards, yeah.
either one, stickers, ribbon, and then we can do fabric or scrapbook paper for the, like decorating the envelopes. I'm not sure what y'all think would be easier. And then fabric, I mean, most of everything that I do with it, I just use like Elmer's glue, so
Right.
the fabric will take longer to glue and dry if we use fabric than the paper would. And then from there, just like crayons, pencils, so they can just decorate them.
Okay.
Can I show her something that I
Pretty
made?
simple.
Now, can we wait? Cause we gotta get all this done and then
I
afterwards
was
we'll
just
do
gonna
that.
see if you could use it.
Yeah.
So are they making a journal that they're gonna write in?
They can write in it or they can just decorate it. It's kind of whatever they want to use it for. But my hope was to kind of, you know, let that be an encouragement for them to like write down prayers or just write down things that they can, you know, kind of take to God with.
Mhm.
So put that spin on it.
So we wanna combine after that, make that, we talking about the spiritual part of
Yeah.
what you learned from camp about God or
Yeah.
those types of things, personal prayers and
That's a great idea.
so that's gonna be that project, with the journaling. So we will talk about all this afterwards, cause we've got all these to get through. Tammy, you had one thing on
I
that?
was gonna ask a question, but we
Yeah.
can go on here.
No.
So to make it, you have like the envelope here and then a piece of paper here, stack several, however many pieces of paper you want. You sew them or connect them and down the middle and then they decorate the exterior and the interior.
Yes.
Okay,
With fabric.
And then it's always fun to
Fabric
just
or
like have
whatever.
like a little ribbon for them to like close it with. But
Okay.
But they're pretty
Okay.
simple to make.
And the
Can you
good thing
know
is
about
with
how-
the timing,
So we'll
you
have it
can,
as an example?
Yeah, I
Okay.
meant to bring one with me.
Oh, okay. Oh, you
have
have
ones.
it?
I just left one out.
Oh,
you
okay.
do that for business, right?
It is a little side thing that
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
so
So,
about how long does it take you to make one journal?
It can take me a day or two, dependent. It just depends on how extravagant I want it to be.
Mhm.
So in
Sometimes I'll
terms
add,
of hours, actual hands-on
Um,
hours, I'm just trying to envision filling the hours of the workshop.
probably 4 to 5 hours.
Okay,
You can draw it out if
okay.
to
Right.
fill in more
And,
space.
and you could even talk about, like spend part of the time each day, maybe talking about the kind of things that you can write in there, or maybe.
right,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah,
we
you know,
talked-
kind
There's
of,
another thing too that I'll do for the journals is I'll make little pockets or different like tags and different things to kind of stick in there. So it depends on like sometimes I already have those pre-made, but those can also be
Mhm.
things that we make along with making the
Yep.
journal. So maybe while the fabric's drying, the next thing that we'll do is we'll make some things to stick inside
Great
that
idea.
will throw
Gotcha.
in some
The
more
camp is very proactive on creativity and doing things themselves, as compared to have it already and give it to them.
Put this sticker on that.
Because
page.
this is a
Yeah.
creativity camp, this
Yeah,
is
it's an
fish
art
What
camp.
camp.
about contact paper instead of fabric? It would already have on the back of it.
That's kind of hard with little kids.
It
Get
is,
it
it's
smooth.
Yeah, they
it's
freak
so
out.
bad.
There's a crease in mine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay,
Good
so
idea, though.
just to know, if you got an hour and a half a day, probably an hour of that will be activity, a half an hour is translation and questions and that type of thing. So be thinking along that line. Try to come up with, if we wanna target 20 or 25
20 or 25 kids.
kids in
I
the
think
workshop.
no more than 20 in any workshop.
No more than 20.
Yeah.
So we'll need
A lot of
20
them will be
items of
smaller.
whatever we're making to be able to last an hour or so-ish for 5 days.
Okay.
So
But I
that's at
think
least 5
My,
7 hours.
my thought is that on yours, you need to plan on them making 2 journals, cause I'm worried you won't fill the entire week with the workshop. So
if that
have
happens.
enough supplies that
I have
somebody,
tons
everybody
of
can do
ribbon at my
another,
house,
Yeah.
a second one.
in my crafts.
And especially
I
cause
have some in my
kids
car.
that age, as they learn to do something, they wanna try different things the second time
Yeah.
around, so,
Yeah.
and it gives them more opportunity
Yeah.
for creativity.
Okay, yeah, if you
Yeah.
guide the first one and then the
Yeah.
second one, okay, it's Thursday, here's the material, go.
So then that would be supplies for 40 journals, basically,
So,
Gotcha.
okay,
I can do it.
okay?
good? All right, thank you so much. I'm excited about that, especially bringing the spiritual aspect into it.
Mhm.
Thinking about God and writing to Him, or, you know, all those types of things. That's more valuable than the skill of learning how to do that, so. Okay, so the second workshop is gonna be the fruit of the Spirit. What?
What are you
Fruit
gonna
of the
call it?
Spirit
What are you gonna call it?
We were just calling it the Fruit of the Spirit workshop. I think.
Workshop, okay.
Yeah, because we
And
have
Tristan
like,
and Becky are gonna be doing that.
Yes, but I think we need to give it some sort of name that would indicate what they're gonna be doing, making, you know,
Is it a plaque, a card?
we'll say trees.
multimedia trees,
Yeah.
multimedia trees
Fruit of the
for
Spirit,
the spirit,
okay.
okay.
And you mentioned that
And,
time
But
for
trees
translation.
can
Are
be
we
like,
gonna
is it
have
a real
someone with
tree
us to
or-
There will
translate?
always be someone,
Oh.
if it's, well, the counselors will be with them,
no,
right?
they won't.
They
That's
won't,
when the
okay.
counselors are doing their group.
Okay, but there will be translators
But there will be other people there, yes.
that can translate. If
Yeah, 'cause
nothing
I
else,
was kind of planning it out, trying to do it.
And
I
Google
come into
Translate is
Korea where I
always
have
with
no
you.
help and I'm on my own.
yeah, if nothing else, Google Translate
Yes.
will
Yeah.
get you
Yeah.
through.
It's good though if you can do things, to kind of demonstrate it so that you're not totally reliant on somebody to translate. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, like we had people there to translate, even some of our kids
Yeah.
translated.
Right, right.
But,
But
you know,
hands-on, like showing,
Yeah, show-
you know,
yeah, like for example, I keep going back to the rocks, but that's something that they loved. I mean, you have examples of the rocks, you have pictures of what they can paint on the rocks, and then you have everything. So it's, you know, there's not a need for so much language.
Right.
Yeah,
More demonstration,
yes.
okay.
so what are
So,
you
fruit of
doing?
the Spirit
Yeah.
trees.
What do you need?
So we're gonna do two different crafts within the week. Tristan wants to do the first one for his idea. He still has to make an example for it, but he wants to take like a poster board or something about this size, cut out a tree out of cardboard or brown construction paper, and then have the kids make fruit, like apples and berries and grapes and bananas and things like that out of different
Construction paper.
construction paper, scrapbooking paper, fabric, different materials, and then put the fruit on the tree. So that's gonna take about half the week, and then I'm gonna do the Korean inspired calligraphy and cherry blossoms for the second half of the week, which is gonna be kind of like just a small canvas board. They could do a couple if they want to, where they're drawing like a silhouette tree outline or a branch, and then using Q-tips bundled together, dipped in paint to make cherry blossoms on it. And then I'm gonna teach them how to write the fruit of the spirit in Korean if they want to, if they want to write that on their board. But part of
Consider
what
English
we're gonna,
also.
yeah, part of what we're gonna do to start
English is a foreign
at the
language.
very beginning, the first thing we're gonna do, because if these kids are at the same level that my kids were at when I was teaching in Korea, they don't know the fruit of the spirit in English. They might know love and that's it. So we're gonna spend some time making handouts and worksheets and things like that for them, going through and learning how to pronounce and say the words. And then we've got, I'm planning on making like word searches and other worksheets for them if someone finishes early and wants to do that, and then get fruit
Good
snacks
idea.
as a reward. So we have stuff like that.
Where are you gonna get
planned.
the fruit snacks from?
So, you know those little Welch's?
Yeah.
like,
You gonna bring him?
You have to
Are you
bring them.
planning
Yeah,
on
yeah,
bringing?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's on
okay.
the supply list.
Alright, good.
Yeah, so my mom, and the youth group from the church that I grew up in, they want to contribute, by donating supplies. So
Good.
my mom is coming down to visit at the end of July.
Right.
Is planning on bringing
She'll
a
be here for the
suitcase
next
full of
meeting.
supplies. So I'm gonna share this list with them and work with them on getting the supplies that we need for the workshop.
Okay, so can I?
Yes,
Okay, I have some thoughts to share
Yes.
with you, okay? So based on what we saw last time we were there, the whole, going over like all 9 fruit of the spirits at the beginning and the worksheets and all that stuff, I would suggest you break that down.
Oh yeah.
So that there's a lot more hands-on immediately doing something. Like you might talk about how the fruit of the spirit grows out of our relationship with the Lord, and then say, and we're going to make trees to represent that, to represent we are the ones bearing the fruit, and this is a couple different ways we're going to make trees, and then we make the trees.
Okay.
you know, and then go
Kind of
on
more
to,
explain
so that
the
you
connection with the verse.
don't have a whole bunch of talk like school, as opposed to,
Yeah,
you have,
yeah, I was gonna keep
dive
that
into
part
right,
really brief,
okay.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
write it, but breaking it up, because 9 is, it can get away with you trying to explain, but yeah, so,
Yeah, if
But
they're
that's-
sitting for a whole day listening.
yeah,
No,
that's,
it's just gonna be a quick, like, 10 minutes, this is the word, this is, that goes with it in Polish, and they're gonna have the Polish next to it,
Okay.
and we're just gonna teach the pronunciation, so
Okay.
that
But-
they can match
yeah,
it.
okay,
It's not gonna be a long drawn out lesson, it's just
Okay.
gonna be a quick, this is what the word is,
Awesome.
this is
Okay.
how you say it.
Awesome.
okay.
All right.
And so what are the supplies that you need, that your mom's still bringing, but just
Yeah,
curious?
so we need, you know, like, either poster boards or, cardboard, construction paper, pattern paper, markers, scissors, glue, some like acrylic markers, acrylic paint, Q-tips, fruit snacks, rubber bands, plates, and stuff.
You know what might work well for the Tristan tree?
Yeah.
Tristan tree.
The Tristan tree.
Is foam core, and you can get it in brown or black or different colors too, because it's got that sturdiness if they wanna like hang it or display it somewhere. And you could even use the scrap from the foam board to make
Make
like a
the fruit.
stand. No, to make the stand, so you've got your
Cross
tree
it.
cut out, and then you cut the scrap and cross it and make a stand, so it'll stand up.
One thing I
So-
was wondering about is how kids are like gonna
Transporting
take
it
stuff
home?
Yeah.
So if it's flat,
they
it
have
goes
too
home
many
easier.
Things that are,
And,
or if they do like poster board, if they could roll it up
mm-hmm,
and stuff.
Mhm.
If it's a pliable poster board, they'll just roll it up, and put it in. If not, if it's like the thicker poster board, if it's gonna be something that's 3D, make it so that it can be disassembled, so they can put it in their suitcase or put it in their bag, take it home and reassemble it.
Yeah.
Type
Well,
of
don't they
But-
make poster board that's about this
I would
size?
not get the giant poster board,
Yeah,
because
that's
that
what
won't,
Tristan wanted
most
to
of
do
them
for
won't
his.
have giant
Yeah.
suitcases, I don't think they didn't, some of them did have like not the carry-on size, the next size up, but they didn't have a lot of them just had like
We don't have a lot of
carry-on
that.
size.
Yeah, so
carry-on
we have to
size.
consider what they're taking these things home
So,
with.
yeah,
So communicate that to Tristan
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you talk to
Yep.
him. Okay, that's workshop number 2. Workshop number 3 is
trash to treasures.
trash to treasures.
Isn't that a show?
Is it?
Yeah, it used to be a show
Okay.
on
fine.
HGTV, sorry.
Yeah.
It is trademarked, I'll change the
No,
title.
no, I'm just kidding.
And we've got 2, just like they've got 2 activities they're gonna be doing, we've got 2 activities that we'll be doing during that. The first one I've got is, I think I brought it, the
You saw it.
nameplates
Yeah.
Mhm.
with a piece of cardboard,
Mm.
and Joyce has given me a whole bunch of stuff, puzzle pieces that you can put on those letters, fabric you can put on those letters to make their name, to make their country, whatever they want to do. That'll be something after Tammy's project is basically done. That'll be the filler thing that we'll be doing. What do you wanna make? You wanna make your name, something that's, you know, a 3D or something that they can build, but it's easy to, we'll have different lengths of that. Cause if they wanna say their name Anna, you know, they need one this long. If they wanna say the town Zakastella, it's gonna have to be this long, type of thing. But for that, we'll need cardboard, we'll need cloth, we'll need
And we could also use scrapbook paper too,
scrapbook
because that
paper,
looks.
puzzle
It's-
pieces. I've got a whole
it's
box
easy
of
to
puzzle
work
pieces, so we don't
with,
need any more of those.
Mhm.
Anything that you could stick onto a piece of cardboard, can you show that one? You brought those little ones?
These are the squares.
Yeah, basically we're thinking something like that, like a
Corrugated
3x5
cardboard.
corrugated cardboard.
They're just 3x3s, and I made the word Jesus.
Right.
And then I, took the puzzles pieces and glued them on the J. And, it shows up pretty good.
Yeah, it shows up good, especially with the background, if you glue it onto another plaque and it's a solid color or a fabric color. But whatever the theme of the camp is gonna be, you know, that word that they're gonna use, we can incorporate that into it. So that's gonna be the nameplate part of the Trash to Treasures. And then Tammy had her,
And they're both based around the concept of reusing cardboard, so I think we need to just start collecting Amazon boxes, cause everybody has a lot of Amazon boxes.
We're gonna take our cardboard from here
We have
Yes,
three
we will take all our
suitcases. We have three
cardboard, we're not
suitcases.
gonna
We're just
rely
not gonna,
on that,
yeah.
especially if we have three.
We have plenty of
suitcases
space
each.
now, so, yeah.
The cardboard that they would get would have, probably had food in it, or food items,
Right.
It's just easier to make sure we have our own.
so we know what size they are.
I've been trashing
So,
it.
yeah,
You
I
said
You've been
you
trashing
wanted
it? I thought we were, but it's changed.
yeah.
You've got
I got
34 days.
Yeah,
to
we
get
only
some
found
more.
out about the 3 suitcase thing about a week and a half ago or
Yeah.
so,
Do you want
no,
like
no
the
worries.
pre-cut?
Nope,
No,
Okay.
nope,
No.
we don't want anything
So, like, even
pre-cut,
for
we
the-
don't want anything pre-made.
even for the
That's
name tags,
the-
you know, some of them want little signs and some of them want giant signs.
Yeah.
They can make whatever size letters they want and stuff. And then the baskets y'all showed. So, and I think instead, I still am gonna take the dual voltage hot glue gun because we're gonna need that to
Yeah.
do the boxes, to glue the boxes. I'm gonna actually buy 2 of those so 2 adults can glue
Be
the flaps
helping
down
with
for
that stuff.
sturdy and stuff. But spray adhesive instead of craft glue, I think would be better.
I don't know
Then-
if you get that on a plane.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm
know.
gonna investigate.
Okay,
Aerosol.
Yeah, it's aerosol.
I
Well, you
know.
can pack it in your luggage.
Aerosol, I don't think so.
Ask Google.
yeah, we'll find out later.
But so we're gonna need the denim, which I have a lot of jeans from Joyce already. And we've had a lot of family things going on. I haven't got even looked at the bags or anything, so I have no idea if it's enough or anything. And then complementary patterns of fabric to go with the trim and stuff, and then like rope and ribbons and embellishments and things like that to go with them as well as the adhesive or of some sort of adhesive,
Right.
glue
We'll
or.
figure out
Do you
what
need an
type
extra
of
glue
use.
gun?
I mean, it has
It's
to be
gotta
dual
be-
voltage. It has to be dual voltage. And I looked on Amazon and there were like a gazillion, and I found one that was dual voltage. So
Yeah, the ones we normally get at Walmart and stuff, they're not dual
they're
voltage.
not. They're just
Ah,
You
yeah.
can't just take
They
that plug, that European plug and plug it in there
It
and
just
put
won't
it in
work
their
on
power
an
unit.
adapter
It'll
because
blow
it'll
it up.
fry
It
your
has to be a dual voltage like your razor or your
created to handle that
phone
incoming
and that type of
voltage.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So those are the 3 workshops.
And we're gonna take the all same size and shape cardboard boxes to use as the frame for the basket.
Yeah, the only thing
You
that'll be
can take
standard
them.
size, everybody's
can.
getting the same
Okay,
size.
fine.
Yeah, on international flights, you just can't take him.
You can't take them in carry-ons.
No, I don't think so.
No, it has to be checked back.
Yeah. That's what I would have guessed.
But I don't know, with aerosol,
And
If it's-
it can be checked. What
It
I
can,
would do
even
is
under pressure.
Put it in a bag.
is I
Yeah, I would too.
put it in a
Yes,
freezer bag or
absolutely.
something.
Yeah.
Just in case something happens.
If you buy it and it comes in a box, I
Or
would
just leave it sealed,
leave
yeah.
it sealed.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 workshops. And now we have 3 crests. Okay, so that's the 11 o'clock
Yeah.
hour.
Yes.
If you're not helping with one of the 3
Okay.
workshops,
You were gonna ask who thought they might want to work with.
no, I
which-
wanna do the crafts also,
Okay.
and then go at it from there.
Okay,
The workshops, 1 o'clock is lunch, 1:30 is rest time, 3 o'clock is when we start club time.
can I interrupt for a minute?
Mhm.
After lunch, we generally helped clear the tables, you know, and take we didn't wash dishes, we didn't prep food or anything, but we cleared the tables, sometimes reset the, you know,
For the next meal.
serving basics out into the tables and stuff, but
We don't eat the same
Yeah.
time the kids do because
Yeah.
there's not enough room.
Yeah.
But we also helped set stuff up too.
yes, yeah. But they will tell us, that'll be on a day-to-day basis, whether they need us at this meal or that meal to clear or to set up
To
something.
wipe off the.
Yeah,
You have
wipe
a
off
farm?
tables and stuff.
Do they have a what?
You said they had a farm or something?
They have petting zoo.
They have a mini
Like a
petting
petting
zoo type
farm.
of thing, they have a
The
couple
farm
horses, they
animals.
got some llamas and some goats
Yeah.
and some chickens and that type of stuff.
I have goats and chickens.
Bring them. No, just,
Bring
no,
them?
don't bring them.
Put one in a suitcase.
So then 3 o'clock is club time. This is when we do the crafts. And we have 2 crafts that we've got determined that we're gonna do. The first one is the bracelets that you talked about, okay?
The button bracelet.
The button bracelets, whatever you wanna add to those bracelets, it's just, you're gonna give them, instead of
It's
cutting
they're all
these already,
They're already cut. They're individually, the buttons and the rope is cut 30 inches so that they can make it.
so they can adjust it, okay?
I should have wore one. I made one to wear.
But with the creativity of the camp, they don't really want a package, so if anything else,
Just let the kids know that they can switch
They-
out
They
buttons
can
and
switch
trade
out
things
buttons
around
That's right.
and provide
They
like
can-
extras for
yes.
them to choose from.
You almost had to cut the cord, but, I have scissors, but I can't take these now because I can't have needles, right?
I think that actually sewing needles, I think is gonna be a safety issue because
the blunt needles will be fine.
blunt needle, yeah.
Yeah, but if she could have scissors in her
Oh,
possession.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
but
and
just not handing
and
them out
we
to
use
the kids.
scissors
No,
with the kids, but sewing, yeah,
No, the sewing needles. she's
sewing
talking about.
needles
Yeah.
is not,
It's not my turn
Plastic
yet, but I'll
needles.
explain when it's my turn.
yeah.
So go ahead and explain your bracelets now.
Okay, I don't have the bracelets with me.
That's all right.
But I wanna make sure I'm clear, because what I can do is I can make these ahead of time and give them to you to put in your, I can get them back. You have one. I can put it all together so that you can put it in your,
Oh, yeah, that's
That'd be fun.
cute, yeah.
and I don't have to put the cross on the inside. It's just a little, what do you call it? That has holes in it. I can put it in there, or I can have the cross so they can put it on the outside or put it on their.
Now, could we not, instead of a needle and thread, could we not use the embroidery glue that you had
No.
talked about to close that?
Now, let me show you. I actually pretty much put it together for them. There's a piece of, stiffening the back and this, and I even made, a sew line around the thing so that they would know where to sew. But you said we can't do the needles now.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah,
Okay, but I can sew them ahead of time. I can get them back from you. I can make them like this and.
And you could do like a pocket and do you do that sometimes, make a little pocket on a page for them to put stuff in?
And I also made
That would be-
flowers.
Oh, so pretty.
How did you make those?
I have a scissors, it has cutters, and I just go like this and I take all these little scraps and make flowers.
But you sew
But I
them
can't bring
together.
that, these are not sewn together,
Are these glued?
you can glue them. See, there's like 4 individual little pieces.
Yep,
I see.
that would be good. You give them 4 pieces of
Oh, so-
material, show them one that they wanna make, let them make the designs, cut them out and glue them together. That way you wouldn't have to make them. That's the direction.
Well, they can't cut them out because it's with a die.
It's with a
They can
like,
Oh,
like
okay.
the die cut things
I
you
can
used
put
to use
these
in
all
school.
out.
Yeah.
And they can pick the colors they want.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you make these,
You know-
and then let them pick which ones of these.
The
And
only
with
thing
that-
about that is you're only gonna have a couple of glue guns though.
Well, would this be something like
Why can't you
Either-
use Elmer's?
You can.
you probably could either
Yeah.
either
Stick.
together or just the pieces
Stick.
to add to the junk journals? Would this be something appropriate to like
Yeah,
have this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it
I-
looks very much like something that would go in a junk
I
journal.
also have buttons that you can put in your
Cute.
It is cute.
That's
journal.
really cute.
Huh?
Yeah. So
That's very cute.
I mean, we
That's
haven't
better
talked
than
about
yours.
who's working with which workshop yet, but if Joyce
Right.
wanted to work in your workshop and just have the flower things
Have all that
and
stuff
stuff
available.
for it.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
all that stuff
'cause
ready already.
that's-
I have
Yeah.
like 60 some odd flowers here, and each one has 4 pieces to it.
And I do think that just regular glue would probably work, and then, yeah,
Regular Elmer's glue will work?
I
Yeah.
think
I
it
think
will.
so, or
I
Or
craft
glue
glue,
sticks,
or
like Cheryl
You-
said,
Yeah,
glue
glue
sticks, something
sticks.
that'll,
Be a lot less
'cause it's gonna be-
Elmer's, or do you like Aleene's?
I use,
I just use the like extra strength Elmer's glue, and I've not had any problem
Okay.
with it.
this is just a piece of felt, and I cut out cards.
Yeah, that's the same type of
pieces.
thing that would look really good in a junk
Yeah.
journal.
And
It
I-
would, yeah, it
Mhm.
would, it would go
I,
really
you have
well
some
with
of
that.
these in the,
Yes,
Yeah.
and we
But
can,
I
I
made
was-
those to go into
Yeah.
pockets.
I wanted
Yeah.
them to be able to write a scripture on the back.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Like pray without ceasing and.
Yeah.
so
where it's
just
found.
understand that the crafts.
So, yeah.
You're gonna have different kids every day. The
Sometimes.
workshops,
The-
you're gonna have the same kid all week long. The crafts, if they like
It's more
that craft, they're
flexible.
coming back again tomorrow.
Yeah.
If they like that craft, they're coming back Wednesday. If they didn't like it or they wanna try something else, you won't see them for the rest of the week. So the crafts, it's a one-time thing.
It's a
Make
much
it
more
and take it.
relaxed kind of
More
atmosphere.
laid
Come
back,
and go.
free
No,
for
when
all.
we did our craft time, we had,
Are we gonna have
It
30
was-
kids?
it was that, well, you see on the
You could have
schedule,
up to 25
the club
Cover the whole
time,
week? Or every
and-
day?
each
Every
day
day.
for crafts.
the club time and the afternoon snack. So what we were doing is, we were at a covered pavilion area and we were doing our crafts, and they would come by with the snack while we're doing the rock painting or the yarn art or whatever else. So even though it's listed separately on here, it's really all 1 2-hour block.
Yeah, from 3 to
So,
3 to
and
5.
the kids would finish rock painting and go try to do something else if they wanted to, or go to the soccer field or whatever. It was a very much of a
Free-for-all.
activity period.
Unstructured.
So
Time.
we are doing
Unstructured,
rock painting
unstructured.
too as well?
So yes,
We just got the okay from the
We
other church, they're
just
not
got-
gonna do it.
Yeah.
So we want to offer it because it was so popular.
Karen and I wanted to do it.
What's that?
Rock painting.
Oh, we're taking rocks?
Well, you
Well,
know.
we're gonna talk about getting in there,
It's-
but we're gonna need more than 2 people to do rock painting because it was very, very popular.
it was very
I would
popular.
love to help.
It was very popular.
So, yeah,
Scott
everybody
said,
wanna
"I'm
do
not
that.
going by them."
So
Yeah.
you might get one day of
So I
crafts
always
that you're
send an
doing,
email
helping
saying,
with,
"Do you
with
need
that.
to
Yeah,
So
okay.
You can keep that flower so you can see.
But we have 3
You
suitcases
want,
if that doesn't work out.
So we're gonna have 30, how many kids per day?
5 times 5. 25.
25 times 5,
125.
so I only
What's-
have.
Okay, for
What-
club,
For the craft.
for the club, okay, you don't know, because it is an unstructured activity. Probably, the most we had doing rock painting at one time, which was
50.
far and away, was it 50?
We had a
Far and
lot.
away the most popular craft we had there, that
And we
week.
did it more than one
And we
day
did
because
it
they liked it
several days,
so
they
much.
liked it so much.
See, the thing, Joyce, is if you take supplies and we run out, Thursday, we've got this craft instead of this craft.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's all it
That's
is.
the way
It's
it works.
very
Yes.
free.
I have plenty of stuff to make.
You
I
have
just
plenty.
need to know how many I need.
You may borrow 2 of my suitcases to get all your stuff over
I've
there.
already been asking me how many kids were there, and I just.
But, yes,
Yeah,
the
there
good
was
news
probably
is
about
rock
50.
painting is going to happen.
Is that-
We have to
Oh,
contact
okay.
Pro-Am. They bought the rocks last year in country.
Oh, good.
We just pay for them
Mm.
because of the shipping and the cost and all that.
Right.
So the rock painting is now the 3rd craft that we'll be doing. Everybody get a chance to help with that, cause it's very popular.
What was the
Well, you
first
can do
one?
We're gonna do the bracelets,
Oh, bracelets.
and then Dee is doing the spinner. Remember,
Okay.
she showed
Yeah.
the spinner with the round disc and the elasticated string. And so I would prepare for, what would you guys say?
Well,
for
we're
crafts.
trying to, I mean,
I would say 30 to 40, if not more,
Yeah.
at a time.
a day,
I'm
yeah,
trying
at
to
a time,
find
yeah,
the picture of,
At
hold
one
on, I'll
time,
show
if
you.
it's something they like, and you don't know till you get there.
Yeah.
It may be something we think is really great. Now, we
Because
know
did-
rock painting is time tested.
Yeah.
All these other
we
things, they
did
may see it
string arts.
say,
We did like,
I'd rather go play soccer.
God's Eyes, you know what God's Eye, the
Yeah,
God's
that
Eye
didn't go
cross
over
thing,
too
that was
well.
a bust, like.
Yep.
Yeah, so you don't know what's gonna go over and what's not gonna.
So,
Yeah.
especially with 3 suitcases each, take extra. If we don't need it, it stays there. They'll use it eventually.
Take extra what?
Stuff.
Oh.
Give all your extra suitcases to Joyce and she can empty her car.
No, we don't.
You gotta come
We're
see
not
my
just
guy.
gonna
We don't
take
need
random
random
No, we're
stuff.
not gonna take random. It
That's
must
what
be
I-
a structured, organized craft that you're gonna work on. But take enough, if the one craft runs out, if you made 30 of those, and 30 kids wanted to show up the first day for that, cause it sounded cool, and 20 more wanted to come, well, you come tomorrow, we'll have it ready tomorrow.
Well, that's,
Okay,
go ahead.
I think a part of the reason that the God's Eye things were not as popular is because there was, so much instructions on how to do it.
Yeah, there really
The,
was.
the rock painting thing, this was their, this was Southeast thing. They had pictures of what you could paint. So the kids had an ideas of things
They
you
could
could
paint
paint.
with other things, obviously.
And then they had everything laid out, so each child had like a paper plate with and they could choose the colors. We let them
Mhm.
choose several colors and we scored out
Lots
the
of paint
colors.
and lots of, Yeah.
And so, there wasn't not much language involved, because
Right.
it's a
Same thing with
problem.
the journals.
Yeah.
You bring 4 or 5 of your journals, set them out there as a display,
right,
here's all the stuff.
Yeah.
Make it.
Mhm.
Yep.
and then just help those kids that you see are struggling.
Yeah.
Same thing with the bracelets. Same thing
Yeah.
with the spinners that Dee's gonna do. Show what it is, how it's made, the material's there, go for it.
Alright, I'm gonna pass this around. This has got a picture of the kids under the workshop, the tables where everything's set out, so you can, here's an example of what they painted, so y'all can kinda look at that.
Okay.
Alright.
While this is going around to see that, we need to go back, sorry. And the rock painting, everyone wanted to help with, right? Pretty much.
It's gonna take a lot of
There was
people.
about 5 or 6 of us there
Okay.
every day
Yeah.
doing it.
So
Yeah.
there'll be 5 to
There were
6,
some
and we will be
that
flexible,
were out running around with the kids that had
Right.
better legs than we did.
definitely.
I got good legs.
Yeah, so you'll be out running around with the kids, or if you're athletic and you wanna play soccer with the kids, or,
Yeah.
you know, you wanna go to the, and you'll, like I said, you'll find those 2 or 3 kids that gravitate to you, and you gravitate to them. That's who God called you there for,
Mhm.
and everything else is peripheral.
Yeah,
But that's who God wants to use you to reach those children for whatever reason it is. That's
That-
just a God
Yeah.
moment.
that's
You need to
very
take
true.
advantage of it. So understand that what we have planned, if God moves in a different way, all of our plans mean nothing. Because our purpose is to reach these kids. In whatever way that, we have our plans, but God knows the purpose. So be flexible in all this, have an open hand in what we're planning on doing, because we don't know how the Spirit of God's gonna move and what's gonna happen. So, we're planning this, we're gonna take everything necessary, but that doesn't mean it will happen. If it does, that's great. From experience, it won't all happen, because God is more involved with wanting to see these children come to know Him than we are. And just think everything we're doing, even though it's a physical craft, it's got a spiritual purpose. And that's what we need to focus on, all of those things. Okay, so rock painting, everybody wants to do. Bracelets with Joyce, how many, probably one other
And that,
person?
no, that sounds like something that you might need
lot
several
of
people
people?
with, because it's
Okay.
very, yeah.
Okay, so are each one of these activities for one separate day?
Each
Like rock
one,
bracelets is gonna be one day, rock painting one day, spinners one day, is that what you're doing?
no, the plan was, we're gonna have 3 crafts during craft time. Underneath the
pick.
tent.
No, we did,
We did
Yeah,
one
one-
activity a day.
yeah, we did.
Oh, you
And
did?
then when we did the yarn thing, which didn't go over so well, the next day we brought rocks back out.
Gotcha.
Cause they
See,
were
I didn't-
asking
I didn't
for
know,
it.
I thought you had bracelets every day, you had spinners every day,
No.
you had rocks every day.
No.
Oh, yay,
No.
we don't do it every day.
Okay, so,
No.
So we all kind of work together.
It's
every
pretty much
day
the whole team
team
is working
working with the
together,
kids.
and a few people go off to do
Okay,
sports
so
stuff.
plan then on the crafts, can we say 25
25,
items to prepare? Bring enough for 25 people to do that craft? To
No.
do
No.
25?
more, okay, so you mean supplies to make 25 different
Yes.
whatever crafts? No,
Bracelets to
No.
make
I
25?
think you need to plan for at least 50
Yes.
to 75.
Okay,
Because like if somebody really thinks the spinners are cool and whatnot, they might want to do 2 or 3 of them.
right,
And that's fine. And somebody might think they're really stupid and not do another one at all. So yeah, and since it's an unstructured time, we have that flexibility. But we plan for, this is the craft we're starting with today.
Okay.
And then, as you go through the week, then say we do bracelets on Monday. Then we do rock painting on Tuesday. Well, maybe somebody didn't finish their bracelet or wants to make another bracelet, and they'll ask, can I make a bracelet? And we're not gonna say no. But the big thing that we prepare for that day is the rock painting.
Is the rock
And then on Wednesday, we do the spinners, and it's all set up and ready to go, and we show them all, and some of them like, I want to do that, can I do another rock painting?
Yeah.
And so we're trying to be flexible with what they like to do. Does that
And
make sense?
Another thing we did, for some things that didn't really maybe take as much time or have something to do for people that got finished, was the face painting thing that I was telling you about.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we
We
did.
had that kind of on the side, and we had a couple
I
of
think
people.
2 people that were doing
Yeah,
that.
well, Bree
Was there?
and the translator.
Oh, yeah.
There'll
Yeah.
be plenty of counselors or people,
Yeah.
or I can do stick paintings with magic markers on a kid's cheek.
No, these were elaborate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they were.
They were very elaborate.
Stick people are very elaborate. Okay,
You're gonna
so
find out the size of the circle? For
for
your
the
sister?
spinners, I will, yeah, when she gets
This is
this,
a, CD.
okay, the size of a CD.
So again, I think we just need to bring the supplies,
Right.
let them cut their own circles.
Right.
Let them
Brings
decorate their own.
12 by 12 piece of cardboard,
Yeah, well,
and they
you're
cut
gonna
whatever
need-
size they want.
We're gonna need some templates.
You're gonna need
Yes.
some.
Yep.
Yes. But yeah, but we don't need 60 circles.
Right.
I give you 3.
Okay.
Okay, so crafts is pretty much gonna be, we're gonna wing it. 1 craft a day.
Okay.
So we have 3 days.
We have,
Well, I
There's
think
5 days.
I think what they had planned last year. They planned 2 days for rock painting, and they did.
2
But
days.
remember,
2 days for the rock painting
Karen,
is what they
remember
planned
Southeast will be
for.
bringing
And
crafts
Southeast is
also.
going to be bringing crafts too.
Well, that's what I was wondering, like, how many days worth of crafts are they planning to
We
do?
could not
We
get
don't
that
know.
from them, so we're
They
bringing
haven't
3.
made any decisions.
So
yet
if
about
nothing
what they're
else, we'll tell them, you have 2 days of crafts to worry about. We already have 3 figured out.
doing. The thing is, I think that they've gone so many years that they have a better idea,
Oh, no.
you know, of
Oh, that's a
what's
bad
gonna
way
work,
of
what's not
starting.
gonna work.
And we'll learn so much
We
from
have-
this year, next
yes.
year we'll be experts at.
That's on
Yes.
your prayer, that's what your prayer pocket's about.
That's right, that's what your prayer pocket's about.
So can we tell them, hey, we've got 3 days planned, can y'all plan too?
Yes,
No, we have already told them what we're planning on doing.
Oh,
We've already
yeah.
communicated the 3 workshops we have, and
And
the 2
the-
crafts, and then added on the rocks, and Scott said, yeah, you guys do plan to do the rocks, so they know.
so they
Okay.
already know we're doing these things.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
they will adjust accordingly, cause they're experienced with it. The good thing is going with a church that has done it before, as we're learning and we don't quite get it, they're there to come, to pick up the slack. We'll learn a lot from seeing how they adjust, and understand it's fun. We're just there to have fun with the kids,
Have fun with kids.
that's the whole thing, it's
Yeah.
not to, the goal is not to make a craft.
Yeah.
No, get back here, you're not done with that craft.
No.
No,
Yeah.
that's not it.
No.
If it's, okay, you had fun, have fun with the animals, or we'll see you, or, you know, you may at the end of your craft time have 10 crafts that they just didn't want to finish. That's all right, that's not what we're there for.
Right.
but
Yeah.
preparation is important,
Yes,
Very
it is.
important,
because, I
very
mean,
important.
we saw that, are they gonna see this? Except these won't see.
No.
Okay, because they were super prepared for the rock painting, the other
Mhm.
things, not so much.
Yeah,
And so I think part of the reason is that's why that also felt kind of flat.
I think so.
I don't mean to be ugly about that, but they were super prepared for the craft.
Well, and also,
Yeah.
part of it that was on their team, like, they had these people that were in
Mhm.
charge of preparing everything for the rocks,
This.
and these people in charge of preparing everything for this, and these people, like Tommy, prepared everything for the painting workshop, and Scott and his son prepared everything for the robotics workshop. But they didn't worry about the rock painting, you know, because they were doing the robotics workshop.
Mhm.
So they divided it up and said, okay, this is what you wanna do, we're gonna do, so, and everybody kind of handled that on their own, and if the person in charge of the preparations dropped the ball in any way, then it fell flat.
And the people in charge of the ones that fell kind of flat were new
Yes.
and had never been there before.
Yeah.
And I don't think realized exactly how it was gonna be.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's why it's so
Yes.
valuable that we have these 2 that have already been there, seen it, to help us go through this.
But it was a lot of fun.
So whatever
It was a lot of
craft
fun.
workshop you're doing, you want it to be the best one there. But understand that the execution may not come, that doesn't matter. The preparation has to be to the glory of God.
What you wanna do is smile and laugh a lot in your
lot.
workshops and crafts, and make the kids have fun, or, you know, do the
And
best you
act
can
like
to
a
make
fool
them
like
enjoy
I do
themselves.
all the time,
Yes.
even with adults.
And if they end up with some finished product at the end, wonderful. If they just end up laughing like fools the whole time, that's okay too. you know.
They're
because
kinda serious though, some of
They
them
are,
are
some of
kinda
them are very
Some of them
serious,
oh,
but yeah.
very serious.
So,
Okay,
and
so,
talented.
yeah.
let's
Oh,
go
yeah.
back, we now know the crafts, we've
Yeah.
got 3 crafts.
Mhm.
Bracelets we'll do on Monday,
Okay.
we'll start rock painting on Tuesday. We'll do the spinners on Wednesday. Probably rocks will be again on Thursday. And that'll give you and Dee a chance to see, maybe on Friday we got enough stuff, we can have 2 crafts for the last day.
Or we won't plan maybe Thursday or Friday and see what
What
And see
Southeast
what
is gonna
goes
do.
Southeast is gonna do.
Yeah.
And we'll see what the kids are interested in, if they want to do something again.
Yeah, cause we got 3, so
So
we
we
got
got-
Monday,
yeah.
Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Southeast to do Thursday and Friday, if anything, they
Right.
need to fall back on something that we have
But
already got
also,
prepared.
once we get there with the other team, that might change. They might say, look, we wanna do this and this, your craft and our craft on this day. And we think we don't want 2 painting things, so can we move your rock painting to this day?
Right.
Or something like that. So we're gonna coordinate with them better when we're on the ground.
Is
We're
that-
gonna be working with paint and I have 30 paint sticks. Are you interested?
Sure, I have no idea if we'll need them, but yeah.
Okay, so is that meeting on Sunday, that integration meeting, is that us in Southeast, or is that us and Pro-Am's?
That's
Staff?
camp-wide, that's
Camp-wide.
Pro-Am staff,
Mhm.
with,
Okay.
with the 2 churches, us and
didn't know that.
Southeast all
Can we
together.
We did,
But yeah, and where they kind of went over what the week was gonna look like. But then we also met, and Scott was in charge, we met as a team after we met as a camp.
oh yeah, that's right, okay.
Now, we will meet as a camp, the camp staff will have an opening and an explanation and everything, and then we will break off as the 2 churches from the States and figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
And hopefully we figure it out before we do it. Maybe we'll figure it out as we're doing it.
Maybe before the kids come. we'll
Yeah,
figure out
before
this
the
one
kids
thing
go.
out.
Okay, so that's, and club time is pretty much a free-for-all. They can come and go in the middle. You might have 3 kids working at the beginning, you have 12 kids halfway through, and then at the end, you get 2 or 3 who wanna go up and do it. That's what's ready. That's the good thing about these crafts that we do. It's on the it's spur of the moment. Okay, here's your stuff. This is what it looks like. Go at it.
It's very open-ended.
Very open-ended, very unstructured. And then 5 o'clock, walks, trips, and games.
So I will say during that time, we were all assigned like a supervisory role. Karen and I were to supervise the playground area. And there were other people supervising the basketball court and the rock climbing wall and all the things. So that will probably that's for security and safety of the kids.
And it gives them, it gives their staff, the leaders, a break.
Right.
And that is a really awesome time, I love that time, I would, at first,
She
we
was
kind of.
much better at it than I was.
No, but, at first I kind of sat and just kind of watched them, and they would come up to me, and so I'd start talking to them, and then we'd play chase like on that, I mean, they loved that time, and some of them, you know, that's a time when I really tried to use the, language app and talk with them some. So, that's
And
a
they
really,
enjoyed that.
Yeah,
It's all
they
about
did.
them. Tell me
A
about
lot.
you. Tell me
Yeah.
about your brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
and what grade are you in? How much
Yeah.
English do you know? And what Polish word can you teach me?
Yeah.
All those.
Just
That's
learning.
that's personal relationship time.
and
Just
sometimes
building
it's
relationships.
deeper, like, you know,
Later on in the week, you want
There were
to
some
be praying
Ukrainians.
intentionally
yeah.
to start talking spiritually about
Yeah.
Wednesday with these kids.
Yeah, and
Just like they do at
I
BBS.
remember those twins that were very talented.
Yeah.
They were from Ukraine, but they were so solid.
Somber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they ended up talking about how they had come to Poland with their mom, and they had lost people already in Ukraine. They had family members there in Ukraine, so they, you know, their minds were thinking about all this that was going on.
Tragic,
We're gonna
Yeah.
talk
Okay.
about that next
But
meeting,
once
about
you-
what you're gonna
once-
experience with these kids. that they're
Once
coming.
they feel like you care about them, then they'll open up more, and that's
Mhm.
why but we will definitely be assigned some duties during that time.
And then dinner, evening worship all together again, get ready for bed, lights out. I dare you to stay up until 10 o'clock.
Actually,
See if you're gonna be able to.
most evenings we had a debrief after the evening worship as
Right.
well.
As
I
the
think it
kids are
was
getting
all
ready for
evenings, but I just don't
graduation,
want
the
to say all
staff
'cause
will
I
have a
can't remember
debrief.
clearly.
Yeah, I think it was
I
pretty
think it
much
was
all every evening.
Oh,
We
and
met,
that's also when we had ice cream snack shack time. So just have your cash.
Have yours-
Oh,
have
you
yours
have to
locked.
buy it?
Oh, yes, you have to buy
yeah,
it.
that's-
Yes.
they
yes,
have
it's, it's called is it called the Snack Shack?
No, I don't know what it's called, but it is the snack
I got a
shack.
picture of that too. But
Yeah.
anyway, there's several times during the day when it's
Yeah.
open and you can go. And
But-
there's usually a long line of campers waiting to go in, and they only let a certain number of people in at a time. But you can get you can get drinks and
Okay, so that's when your money,
Chips and
that's
ice
when you bring
cream and all sorts
your
of stuff.
Polish money.
Yeah,
I
bring
have
your
a
Polish
question.
It
Their
won't cost
chocolate
much.
is awesome over there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
kind of off the subject, but one of the things they told us to bring was an empty water bottle.
Mhm.
That was on the list.
on the packing list.
Yeah, to fill
Yeah.
it up.
You fill it up after you go through security, so you have water. And you
Yes.
can also fill it up over
But
there.
the
They
can.
don't have bottled water.
yeah, they have a what's that pump thing that
They
you can
did.
fill it out?
They did
if you do-
outside,
yeah,
out
okay.
It's
front
an
of the
outside
building.
well
I-
that you get your water from.
No, like a
Oh.
faucet.
Oh, they,
a
yeah, that's
drink-
right, they have a
drink
faucet.
Is it
Faucet,
spring?
water bottle
Is it
filling.
spring water?
No, it's good water.
Is it good water?
If
Yeah.
Tammy said
I
it's
fill
good
my
water,
water
anybody will
bottle
drink
with
it.
it all the time.
I have a, powdered electrolyte.
Uh-huh.
Is it okay to bring that?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
in
yeah.
my
Put it
water?
in your water.
I'm
everywhere.
bringing mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got
I have the same type of thing. I'm bringing my powder packets.
Okay, so that's Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday we wake up, the kids are gone on Friday night,
No,
No,
correct?
they leave Friday, and they leave Saturday morning.
leave
The
Saturday
same
after
time.
we do.
Yes, after we do. We're
Oh,
out,
so we
we're
leave
off
first.
early.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
So
get up early.
Friday
Yeah.
night, we're packed, ready to leave early Saturday morning.
Yep.
We will drive to Krakow,
we'll drive to
Auschwitz, yeah, we'll drive to Auschwitz
and then we will go
and
to
do the
Krakow.
tour, and we're still finding out what the alternative is, if there is one that may be sitting at the park.
You don't wanna go?
And that's fine.
And then after
I don't know if
that,
I
they
wanna
will
go with
take
them
us to Krakow,
Mhm.
to our hotel, we'll check into our hotel, drop our stuff, and then
We'll have the rest of the day.
we'll give you a
Evening.
map and say, don't get lost. We will set up WhatsApp with each other, cause it doesn't cost anything, and we can communicate with each other if somebody gets separated or
Or at
lost, or you have a
camp.
question.
That's how they used to.
Southeast uses
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
That's
A lot of places
I
use
have
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Yep, a lot of them do that.
There's a
Okay.
McDonald's not too far from
Yeah.
the house, which, cause we,
Yeah, there is.
we
Okay.
got
We
there
got there
early and we
early.
went to.
So that's camp schedule.
Yep.
Crafts workshops. The next thing that Pro-Am is very strong on, and we will, I'm asking you now to be ready next meeting, the last Sunday of next month, to come prepared to share your, how long? 2 to 3 minutes? Personal testimony?
Yeah, not long.
Yeah,
Oh.
just an elevator personal testimony. What your life was before Jesus, how you met Jesus, and how your life has changed because you know Jesus. It's your story. Pastor Todd and Kevin has also said, tell your story. That's all you're gonna do. Next meeting, we're gonna each tell our story. Okay? So if you're not saved yet, get saved by next month and be ready to share your
I
story.
know exactly. the
Because that is gonna be the most powerful tool that you can use with these children. When you get something that's in common with them, you can share your story, and it'll mean the world, and it'll mean eternity for those kids. Your story is so strong and powerful. The last thing, before we do any questions in the prayer time, is the dates that we're having commissioning here at church, where you go up on stage before and they pray for us all. July 9th is a Wednesday. I'm gonna need to know who's gonna be here. It's highly encouraged
I'm always here on Wednesday.
that you're here for all three of them. Wednesday night, the 9th, and then we've got the 2 services on the 13th. Now, the way they're doing it, Pastor Kevin told us, is it'll be about 10 minutes into the service. We don't have to sit anywhere special, because there's another team, I think, being commissioned the same service. He's just gonna call all those up that are going to Poland and to wherever the other one is, from wherever you're sitting in the service. If that's not your regular service, what I'm gonna suggest is we sit right as you come in the side door, Just sit right there in the front, you'll be quickest to the stage, you'll take the less time.
What was the date, Sunday?
July
13th.
9th is the Wednesday, July 13th, 9:15 and 11 o'clock. After the 11 o'clock commissioning service, if that's not your regular service that you go to, we're free to leave.
What time is the Wednesday night?
6:30.
6:30?
So you need to be there at 6:30, sit wherever you want. I suggest, so we know where everybody is, if that's not your regular service, right as you go in the door from the atrium, just sit right there in those seats there. Or so that you can see the stage, whatever, but in that general area, so it's easy to get up to the steps and do that. They'll do a 2 or 3 minute explanation, they'll do a prayer, you've seen those before.
Mhm.
But it's a good representation, it's a good motivation for our church people to see people going.
Mhm.
Because our church does a great job of serving locally. Our church does a really good job of serving globally. You'll learn more and be changed more by going to a different culture and sharing Jesus than you will your own culture. It's just the experience that I've had. So, and with the 7 of you that have never been on a mission trip before, you just,
I was on a mission trip my whole life, what are you talking about?
yeah, exactly, yep. Okay, questions?
No
I
questions?
probably have 99, but I.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have a question, email me or Tammy first. When we get those, we'll disperse them to the whole group, so we don't have a chat chain or a
Yeah.
email with 75 reply alls. Just make it easier, more organized and less, and
Oh, and
Annoying.
Agonizing,
Annoying.
text thing.
Because, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that,
Text or
exactly,
whatever.
yeah.
Do you know if we're gonna get sick at school?
I suspect, cause the church is at the school,
Yeah,
right?
if there are people
But they-
from
they
here
also
that
have
you need to
help center.
contact, you should have all their names on Managed Mission, and their phone numbers and their emails.
Well, I
Get
sent
it.
that out in a text and an email.
Yeah, and it was
earlier,
already sent
but
out.
I can send
Putting
it
Con-
a
again.
face with the name is different than looking at.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Contact them directly. Becca, Becky,
Becca, Becky,
Cheryl,
Becca,
Karen.
Becky.
Joyce, Tristan is the guy, the single guy that's going, and then Jan and David, and then my sister Dee.
Becky, you already have all your supplies being,
Yeah, I'm gonna work with my
Okay,
home
but-
church
Yeah.
to collect them. 'cause
2
they're
weeks
really
from
That's awesome
today.
they're doing that.
Yeah, I really
Listen,
appreciate it.
those that are doing crafts or workshops, 2 weeks from today, please contact me if you don't have all your supplies.
That is the 13th.
Okay, that's that Sunday of commissioning. Let me know if you don't have all your supplies. We will then go out to other life groups, other agencies. Remember, if you have things that you need that you can't get a hold of, if it's a craft thing, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, all those places, and ask for donations.
And also go, if you belong to a life group, ask your life group.
Right.
You know,
That's an opportunity for them, not only financially to support you,
Yeah.
but
but just to show that,
Physically.
yeah, physically that they're,
the
you know,
only
they're there
thing
for you.
that I needed was glue, and you said you're going to provide that. Is that correct?
no, that's a lie.
You lied to me?
I did. Well, do you know how you can tell I'm lying?
So you say he's
My
talking.
lips are moving, right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
is there anybody right now that knows they won't be there on July 9th or July 13th?
I won't on 13th.
You won't be on the 13th, okay?
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
And I'm
That's all
sorry,
I
what
don't
was
think
your
I'm
name?
going.
Cheryl Buckner.
Cheryl. See?
C.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
And who is Joyce?
Me.
this is
Okay.
Joyce.
Karen.
I'm
That's
Karen.
Karen.
I'm nice Karen.
That's English Karen.
Nice
that's-
Karen as
we were
opposed to.
talking
about what they
we have
said.
a nice
We don't have
Karen.
another Karen.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It's so funny that she mentioned Indian Rocks Baptist Church. You weren't here. But that's,
My kids went to, Josh
Oh,
went
yeah?
to school
They-
there, and that's
they-
where all her kids
They're
are.
yeah?
connected,
And-
this is
and
how we
Charlie
connect with one
Martin.
another.
led me to the Lord.
Can I stop
I
the
was
recording?
34
You
years
may
old.
stop the recording.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Alright, so let's, I'm gonna open it up for prayer. And then when I feel